If you're trying to build muscle and lose body fat to get to that 10 to 15% body fat percentage range, but you don't know where to start, then this video is perfect for you. Hi, my name is Vincent, and a lot of you have been asking me, yo, should I bulk or should I cut? Or should I do a body recomposition? Or do I go for a dirty bulk? Alright, my bad. Well, as you know, this really depends on what body type you have, and in this video, we'll be breaking down all the different body types, how you can know which body type that you belong to, and the exact steps on what I would do if I was in each body type. And of course, manage your expectations on how long it will take to see progress. So, let's get started. So, let's first figure out your body fat percentage. And on the screen, you can see two photos, one for females and one for male. And for simplicity's sake, we will be focusing on the ab area to get a rough estimate. This is generally an accurate measurement since most people do store their fats in their midsection. If you can see your ab logs very visibly without flexing, then you're definitely 10% body fat or below. If you can somewhat see them without flexing, but it becomes obvious when you flex, then you're most likely to be at the 10 to 13% range. And if you can only see them somewhat visibly when you're flexing, you're probably above the 15 to 19% range. And if you can't see any hints of them, you're most likely to be at the 20 to 25% range. And if you have obvious love handles, then you're most likely above 25%. Now for females, it's actually very similar. If you can see your abs very visibly, then you're most likely below 20% body fat. And if you see hints of those sidelines, you're most likely around 20 to 24%. And if you can't really see any hints of them at all, then you're most likely at the 30 to 35%. Okay, so now that we have an estimate of our body fat percentage, let's cover the more straightforward cases first. If you're a guy and you're below 10% body fat, then the answer is very straightforward. I would just do a full bulk, eating at 10 to 20% above maintenance until I get to 10 to 15% body fat. And I would recommend you also do the same if your goal is to prioritize muscle building. Oh, and if you guys don't know what your maintenance is, I'm gonna put a link in the description that you can use to estimate your maintenance. Anyways, back to the video. Now for the other case, if your body fat percentage is above 25 to 30%, then the straightforward answer is I would do a aggressive cut. And for the aggressive cut, I would do a 30% deficit, and I would aim to drop down to 15 to 20% body fat before I move on to the next phase. And if you're a female, it's the exact same thing. If you're under 20% body fat, I would do the lean bulk, and if I'm above 35% body fat, I would do an aggressive cut. And for both cases, I would try to aim to get to the 21 to 24% range. So those are the more straightforward cases if you are starting as a beginner in the gym. So now that we have those cases out of the way, if you're not in that group, congratulations, you are officially part of skinny fat, which I was also a part of when I first started my bodybuilding journey. This is what we started with, and this is what we are at now. So if you're in the skinny fat group, this is genuinely one of the most confusing places that you can be in, because you don't have enough muscles and you have a bit of excess fat to lose. But if you do a full-on aggressive cut, you're not gonna have enough muscles to show for it. But if you go for a full bulk, you're gonna keep packing more fat than you have to. So what should you do? I'm going to break this down into 3 different types of skinny fat, and this is all broken down by one factor, which is your BMI. So if you haven't yet, pause the video, calculate your BMI really quickly here, because we're going to be using the score to know exactly which group you belong to. Now that you have your BMI, we are going to be using this to understand whether you are underweight, just right, or overweight. And based on this, you will be grouped into the 3 types of skinny fat. If your BMI is below 18.5, then you are part of the light skinny fat. An example of this is you're at 173 cm, weighing at 50 kilos. Now, if you're in this position, you're most likely to also have a bit less body fat on you, but you're not down to the point where you're at 10% body fat. So for people in this category, I would actually do a lean bulk, because the priority here is not to lose fat, but to actually build muscle. But at the same time, you don't want to gain too much fat. So that's why a lean bulk would be the perfect option. And for the lean bulk, I would aim to eat around 5 to 10% above maintenance. And I would run this for around 6 months before I convert into a cutting phase. Now, if your BMI is above 25, then you are on the overweight side. And I would call this heavy skinny fat. An example of this is 173 cm at 85 kilos. And yep, that's me. For people in this category, your body fat percentage might be on the higher end, but not to the position of what we mentioned earlier in this video. So if you're in this position, my priority is to lose fat, but compared to the other group, I wouldn't do such an aggressive cut. I would actually run a calorie deficit of around 15 to 20% below my maintenance, until the point where my BMI is at the normal range. And from then on, you would be part of the third group, which I would call true skinny fat. An example of this is 173 cm at 65 kilos. And here your weight isn't really the problem. The composition is. So I was actually in this category when I first started, and what I did was basically do a body recomposition. And what that means is eating at a slight calorie deficit at around 5% below your maintenance, prioritizing protein in your diet, and continue to train hard. And this is exactly what I did when I first started. That got me from this to this in my first 3 months of training. And for some of you, if you're happy with your body fat percentage, you can actually eat at maintenance, because when you first start off gymming, you guys have this special skill called newbie gains. And what it is in a nutshell is your muscles are growing the quickest because it's the first time it's going through resistant training. And honestly, for most of you, this is where you'll see the most growth in your fitness journey. So how long should you run your body recomposition? And when should you expect to see good results? For me personally, I saw massive results for my first 3 months. But this is also because I started off decently lean. And I would say on average, you should see some progress within the first 3 months. But once you hit the 6 months mark, this is where you can realistically see the most progress. And once I did my body recomposition and got to a body fat percentage where I'm happy with, I actually transitioned into a full-on bulking phase to maximize my muscle growth. But one mistake I did was I did do a dirty bulk. I would advise everyone in this video to not do a dirty bulk and just eat whatever you want just to see the weight gain. Because the weight at the end is just a number, and what really matters is actually how you look. So to track your progress, I would try to take at least one progress photo every week and use those photos as the main drivers for your decisions on whether to bulk or cut. Because that's the exact reason on why I tore my ACL. My body wasn't used to the huge weight jump, and me continuously playing badminton actually tore it during a match because my body was just not used to it. But to wrap it all up, regardless if you're trying to bulk or cut, the most important thing is to be consistent. Because achieving your dream physique is a marathon and not a sprint. And building your dream physique does take time. And if you're struggling to be consistent, I actually have a free Discord community that you can join where I put you into accountability groups every 4 weeks where you can keep each other accountable and compete against other groups to win prizes. New season starts every month on the 15th, so if you're looking to join, make sure you join the Discord in the description. And if you want help figuring out where exactly you land on the different body types mentioned in this video, you can also drop a comment and I'll point you into the right direction. But that's it with this video. I hope this helps with your decision on whether you should bulk or cut. Let me know in the comments whether you're doing a bulk, a cut, or a body recomposition. And also let me know if you have any other questions. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!